We are set to go. All right. Ladies and
going
gentlemen,
on?
people around the world, welcome to the Weekly Beer Show. I'm Travel Man Dan.
I'm Nate Gander.
Nate Gander? What the hell is a gander?
It's a male goose.
Oh, that is awesome. All right. Welcome to the show. We got a fun, exciting show ahead of us. We got lots of people already in the room. Welcome, Jens, Frank, Rick Duffy. What up? Just a kid from Kenmore. And guys, if this is your first time showing up, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. We go ahead and we review beers. Nate, how many beers do we review?
Two beers.
Two beers here. All right, two beers. We're going to go ahead. And we got an amazing show today because we're bringing in a really fun guy named Dave Z from the Beer in Front podcast. That's right. We told you we're going to have a lot more guests this season, and we're bringing it in with this guy. He's awesome, and he's from Chicago. All right, Chicago, fun city, all Chicago-related stuff today. We got a really fun show and some delicious beers. Plus, we're going to be bringing out a really wacky liquor that's popular in Chicago. You ready for that? Windy City means shot day.
Nice. Shot day.
Are you ready for that one, Nate?
Dude, I'm super excited about it. It's something that we've been hearing about for a while, considered the worst shot in America.
Is it really? Okay, well, I'll tell you what we think. We're going to have our fun segments like show and tell. We're going to be doing What Would You Rather? Welcome, Drunatic, Love and Life from Copenhagen. And we're going to wrap it up with a quote of the show. So a lot of stuff. Thank you so much for hopping on. Like I said, if this is your first time being here, appreciate it. Nate, take it from here.
Yeah, if you guys are returning guests, you know the deal here. We're going to take you through two beers. We're going to review them. We're going to go to our scorecards. We're going to get Dave to review a couple of beers with us, and we'll do some promos. And yeah, it's super exciting, and we'll take that shot.
Yeah, and here's the thing, okay? I got to tell you guys right now, we have altered we'll call it the bet, okay? Or I guess, is it the bet? It's not really a bet, right? It's the agreement.
The agreement. I think that's a better way to say it.
Well, we have altered. I know what it is. It's gross. Hey, Rocco. Morning, Rocco. Faizan. Well, go back to Rick Duffy's comment.
Sorry.
All right. I know what it is. It's gross. Hell yeah.
Hey, I mean, that's what a lot of people say. It's very polarizing. And we'll get Dave to talk a little bit more about it. But either you like it or you absolutely hate it. And that's interesting. So super excited to try it.
Very excited. Happy to see Rocco here. Rick, Drunatic, Tenacious Freak, everybody. Like I said, the agreement has been altered a little bit. It used to be Pacifico. Okay. If there was 30 people in the room, we're going to do Pacifico. But we have changed it because it's just a better looking tattoo, right? I mean, the Pacifico, there it is, the Malort. Okay. So if we get 30 people in the room at the same time, 30 people just pop in. So please go ahead, call your friends, family, get the little kids on here too. I guess
your friends and family.
Get them going. If we get 30, he's gonna get the Malort. I'm excited to see when that happens because it's just a matter of time. Like when I first started doing this, like I said, there was 3 people in the room. Now we're getting up around 25. I think the most we ever had 28, Nate.
Yeah.
Probably about 50 in total. So it's continuing to grow. So thank you so much. Now let's go ahead and introduce today's guest. Nate, why don't you go ahead and introduce him?
So we've got Dave Z from Beer in Front, and super excited to talk all things Chicago. We're going to talk about Dave's podcast. And Dave, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Oh, happy to be on, guys. Thanks so much. I'm honored. Nice to.
Hey, Dave.
We talked a little bit the other day, but nice to be on and talk to you guys in person.
Great to have you here, man. Thank you so much for taking time to stop by, talk to us. Love what you do. I got to go ahead and say right away off the bat, you got an amazing voice, man.
Oh, thanks.
Dave is a podcaster. And Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name's Dave Zalatoris, born and raised in Chicago my whole life, lived here forever, worked for an airline for the last, be 35 years next month.
Whoa.
Started doing the podcast, a couple years ago. It was a COVID podcast right before the pandemic hit. Kind of got bored, like, let me try to do something else. I love beer. So I started doing that. Initially wanted to go to breweries and talk to people, but then, with the pandemic, it kind of got pushed back. So now that things are hopefully, knock on wood, getting back to normal, in this coming year, I'd like to hit more breweries and talk to people involved in the beer scene, and also Chicago, because I'm a Chicago guy, Chicago beer guy.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. First of all, 35 years at a job. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's impressive, man. So
thanks, man.
Yeah.
If I get more people listening to the podcast, I could retire and not have to do that shit anymore.
Hey, and you're coming up with your to your 100th episode, right?
Yeah, I am 98 will come out this week.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
The name of the podcast is called Beer in Front.
Mhm.
And I'll go ahead and put it down in the description. So after this show, you please go ahead, check it out. Listen to Dave. He's got a great voice. His content is king. It's just really good stuff. What would you say your episodes are, about 20 minutes long?
20 minutes or so, give or take. Sometimes I'll have like a guest on, and I try to talk to them 15, 20 minutes. So then the episode will be a little bit longer. Every now and then I'll do like a special show that revolves around music, or I had a fellow podcaster on in the military. We were talking military issues one day. So some of those, might go over an hour, but my basic beer ones are about 20 minutes, give or take.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. I just listened to the one about Schlitz.
Yeah.
Good old
I have my Schlitz hat. I can put my Schlitz hat on if you want. Yeah.
I haven't had Schlitz in probably 30 years. Yeah,
You know what?
I remember drinking it at a Christmas table, and I was probably 8.
It's not a bad beer. Like the show is like, just enjoy the beer in front of you. A lot of people like to say, oh, well, this beer was better last year. This one was better. You know what? The beer in front of you sometimes is the best beer that's out there. Just enjoy what's in front of you. So, yeah, I had the Schlitz. I'm like, it's not a bad beer. I mean, I would drink this again, like at a ball game, or you sit outside, throwing some bratwurst on the grill, something like that. Schlitz is a good beer.
Yeah, I agree, and I love that you said that. Like, just enjoy the beer in front, and that's that's your moniker, right? Beer in front means the beer in front of you,
right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes,
and that's kind of what we do here is like two just regular guys who like beer, like because of this weird craft thing of like snobby beer drinkers is starting to develop or has already procured, right? I mean, and me and Nate, we like good beer. Nate likes the crazy shit. I like the wacky stuff, but we also like the regular stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's great, man. Well, you guys want to get into the first beer?
Absolutely.
Let's do it, man. So, guys, let me introduce you guys to the first beer. Like I said, it's all Chicago. Today's a fun one. You may have heard of this brewery. It's very popular. They put out a lot of stuff that you may not see worldwide or nationwide. You're probably most familiar with their IPA, but they do have a pretty big selection going on. And this is one of their IPAs. It is called Neon Bear Hug. Check this guy out. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
Just released in the last month.
In the last month?
I've got a slightly different one because in Chicago, I couldn't find that. The two places that I go to. So I have the tropical beer.
Nice. Hey, that's cool. Is that that's a double? Is that a double IPA? Is that the one that's at like 9%?
Well, yes, it is. All right.
Oh shit.
Oh.
All right. All right. Dave, don't worry about it. You're gonna see. I get pop-eyed. I get red-faced, dude.
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, right?
That's right. I like that. Make that a t-shirt.
Yeah. So Dave's is the tropical. Ours is the neon. He's had both of them. Being from Chicago, this is what we're going to review. It's a 7% alcohol, right, Nate?
Yes, it is. Correct.
Yeah.
IPA.
Great looking can. Let's go ahead and crack this and give a sniff of this sucker. Oh yeah, that's nice. That you can smell the IPA flavor going on there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With this, the same, and like with me, I don't know if you guys heard the last couple shows. I'm still getting 100% from COVID. My sense of smell and everything is whack, but this, they hit me right up front. The tropical hops on this, really good.
Yeah, I was dealing with the same thing. I'm not 100% back on my sense of smell and taste. It's there. it's not nearly as strong as it was, but this is super powerful, right? In, like tropical, juicy, right off the rip.
Dave, you still smelling cigarettes?
Yeah, it's all I do. Like, for whatever reason, cigarettes is in my nose 24/7. I don't smoke. My wife doesn't smoke. But for whatever reason, I talked to somebody else and they said they heard that's a side effect where you just get these weird smells in your nose. So, yeah, it can't be like good smoke. It can't be barbecue or like a campfire, something like that. No, I'm getting like a pack of Lucky Strikes in my nose all flipping day.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, look, take a look at, this is the neon. It is neon. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
This is 7% beer, right? So typically you see a darker color, almost an amber color, like what Dave's got up in the air. But the fact that this is 7% and it's literally see-through, like I could probably read comments. Wonder Strudel, welcome to the show. And guys, let's go ahead and taste it. Cheers.
Right. Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Dave.
Oh, that's nice, Nate. I like that.
I at first I thought it was going to go the way of New England, and I don't think it is. This is probably more your standard American IPA without the pulp that's added in, or the milk lactose, or whatever they add to the process to make it a little bit chewier for the New England. This tastes like kind of a straightforward West Coast IPA that's leaning on the hops to give you the citrus flavor.
Yeah, that's my first sip. Same thing, Nate. I taste hops. Okay, this is the type of beer that I really enjoy because it's got that hoppy forward flavor. The aroma smells like you're in a pine forest. Your burps stink like IPA. I mean, it's exactly where I want to be when I'm drinking an IPA. Like it probably sickens most non-beer drinkers, right? They're like, "Ooh, IPA tastes like weeds," or like, but that's what I like. I love the flavor of hops. Dave, how's your first sip on that beer?
Really good. I mean, the hops hit me up front. Like you were saying, Nate, yeah, it's more of a regular like West Coast than a hazy. This, I get all the hops up front, and then you get the bitterness that kind of lingers on the back end of your tongue as well. So it's like this one's kind of the best of both worlds. You get that big blast up front like a hazy, but with the bitterness at the end of a regular one. And being an Imperial, you get this has got a kick to it. You get that boozy aftertaste as well.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's not boozy. This is really super clean.
Yeah,
I think that's, and Danny, you're probably going to say the same thing. That's probably going to be the market difference between the 9% double IPA versus the standard IPA, where you're going to get that boozy element. Danny, I don't know if you're picking that up. I don't get that. It actually tastes like something that would probably be more in the 5.5% range to me. It's super clean.
Yeah, I was going to go even so far as to say that it's almost like a summer lemon shandy. It's like, all these companies now have moved on from the IPA to the stout, and now it looks like they're starting to run with the shandy and the rattlers. Is it Radler?
Yeah.
Radler. So that's what it tastes like, a summer like Radler, a very lemony. Not bad, really. I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's definitely, and they're using multiple hops here. So, there's a lot of beers out there, IPAs, that'll focus specifically on like a mosaic hop or a Citra. This actually has 5 hops in it. It's got Nugget, Sultana, Citra, Mosaic, and Eureka. And that's where you're getting that super hop forward push on the front of the palate, even in the nose. And I like that. I like hop forward beer.
Yeah, it's definitely I'm happy that this is the one in front of me. I like it. All right, moving on, Dave. So tell me, you started COVID. COVID happened. You started the podcast. You're coming up on your 100th episode. And as a person that's also creating and doing stuff, I know how hard that is. Sometimes you feel like you're in an echo chamber, but you're continuing to do it because you love it. I'm assuming that you're going to continue doing this. It's only going to grow, and you're going to get better and better at it. But what's the journey been like so far?
It was hard at first, because I think like anyone else who starts doing this, you think, oh, well, whatever topic you're doing, like mine is beer. Some people get into comedy or true crime, or they talk about movies, stuff like that. I think, oh, I could talk 30 minutes standing on my head about beer. You record the first episode and it's 8 minutes and you're like, oh, shit. So, it's been a journey. Like, you keep branching out, you try different things. Certain things stick, certain things don't.
Yep.
So, but it's been fun. I've met a lot of fun people along the way. I've got a couple of good shows lined up that are going to be more Chicago focused instead of beer. So, yeah, it's
Cool.
a constant journey showcasing beers that I like and the city I love.
Well, the good thing, Dave, that you're doing that a lot of folks can't get themselves to do is just to jump in and do it.
Yeah.
So once you get those creative juices flowing, you understand the basics of doing it. You get over maybe the anxiety of putting yourself out there, and then you can start formulating your path and you find your voice. And it seems you've done that. Yeah.
Thank you. The only thing that I need to work on is, I'm Gen X. I'm like, if you listen, you listen. If you don't, you don't. But I need to be more of pushing forward, being more of like a go-getter and promoting myself. Yeah. That's the one thing I want to work on, like in this coming year.
Sure.
To do better at that.
Well, that's an important part of it. And that's part. A lot of times what you see out there is these people aren't even that interesting. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody. Sometimes people aren't even that interesting, or they don't really entertain us or value, but what they're really good at is marketing. And, that's the part that's the hardest, especially for people, I would say, 35 and over. Yeah, you're right. They just kind of assume like, hey, if you want to listen, you listen. But, kudos for you for just getting on there and doing it and then staying consistent and showing up. That's part of the game. That is the game. Actually.
That is the game. Right? Showing up every week. You get your podcast out. You do one a week. Is that right, Dave?
Yeah, one a week. Like last summer, I took the month of August off just to kind of recharge the batteries. And yeah, generally every week. Sometimes, like depending on what day the holiday falls on, I might take that week off if it's, Thanksgiving or Christmas, something like that, just to take the week off. But yeah, generally as a rule, it's every week, every Wednesday night.
Cool. Yeah, that's it's funny that you said that taking a month off. Sometimes you just have to take a step back and look at your podcast or your channel. Like I'm in a 2-month hiatus right now of actually not filming any travel videos because I'm trying to get better with it. And same thing like you just said, like sometimes you just take a step back and you're like, oh, you know what? I got a list of things how I can do better or just tweak just a little bit, to get better.
Yeah, and then you come up with ideas when you're off, like, oh, when I come back, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. And I think it made for a better show when I came back.
Cool. I love your show, man. I listen to it all the time when I'm driving. Right. It's interesting. Like you got a great cadence. Mm-hmm. And, if you guys haven't seen it or listened to it, check it out. It's called Beer in Front. Once again, the description's down below. The link is down below in the description. Blah. And Nate, what's your favorite part of the Beer in Front show?
I like he's got a little segment that he calls Jagoff.
Yeah, that's it. Jagoff.
And I think it's really creative. He kind of pokes fun a little bit about people that might be acting kind of Jagoffy. But Dave, you can kind of tell us a little bit about how that was conceptualized and why you do it on the show.
Calvin.
Jagoff, I think. Now, people in Pittsburgh are going to call me a Jagoff because I think the phrase started in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But the only two places in the country that use it are Pittsburgh and Chicago. And it's kind of like a jamoke, a jabroni, a clown.
Yeah.
All about that.
So, I started it out. And I know your show doesn't get political stuff like that, but when I first started, I called someone that. Everyone loved it. So I'm like, all right, well, now I guess I have to keep doing it. But personally, for me, it got almost too political. So lately, I'm just doing more the clowns of the week. Somebody that does something stupid, like, these 2 girls in Florida got arrested for throwing glitter at a guy. So it's more like off the wall.
What are you doing?
For them.
Yeah. So it's now, instead of being political, it's more just like lighthearted. There was I think it was Ireland a couple weeks ago. 2 guys were trying to get this guy that died's pension. So they propped this dead guy up like Weekend at Bernie's and took him to the post office. and try to collect on the guy's pension. This poor bastard had just died. So the segment's now more like along those lines instead of being political.
Well, if I had to do a show or incorporate Jagoffs into this show, we'd never talk about beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling Nate a Jagoff.
Yeah, Jagoff. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, every city's got that, right? Buffalo, it's a Stunats. I guess LA is a puta, but that might actually be a bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's hysterical. I love Jagoff.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. Good for the authorities for arresting those ladies. Because glitter sucks, man.
Oh, yeah.
I got a glitter bomb in my face in my brand new truck a few months ago.
You're probably still getting that shit out of the truck.
Well, I sold the truck and it still had glitter. The lady, my coworker, sent it to me for my birthday, and I got the box and I go out to my truck and the truck's 2 weeks old. I'm like, oh, okay. It's a long tube. I thought it was somebody that sent me like shot glasses, the airplane glasses or drinks or whatever. And so I sit down in my truck and I'm like, fucking, let me open this thing. And I'm cutting it open. It's like a tube. And I cut it open, Dave, and in my face, dude. I was like, what the hell? I thought it was glitter everywhere, dude.
Dude, you must have been furious.
I was so mad at Christy. I mean, it was, yeah. What's up, guys?
What's up, any of that on video?
No, I wish I did. Now that I look back on it, I wish I certainly did, man. But guys, if you're just hopping around the show like Carl Z, this is what we're drinking. It's called the Neon Beer Hug. It is from Goose Island Brewery in Chicago. It's all things Chicago, baby. Nate, take us through this little website.
Yeah, so we're actually doing, well, I'm not going to drop the lead here, but we're doing 2 beers from the same brewer, different segments, different lines that they have. But you can check out the Neon Beer Hug here. I kind of like their website. I like that they give a description here. I can read it very quickly. A shockingly easy drinking 7%. We talked about that. I believe that's true. It tastes like something less boozy, right?
Yeah.
With an electric bouquet of tropical and citrus flavors, Nugget, Sultana, Citra, Mosaic, and Eureka hops provide the spark that makes Neon Beer Hug shine. Now, the interesting part here is that if you go back to the front page, we can actually see the beer that Dave is drinking. So you go to Beer Hug right here.
Okay.
And boom.
There it is.
What Dave's drinking. So you can see this is a 9.9. That's a significantly more, high alcohol type of beer than 7%, 30% higher. So what do they say about this beer? This big 9.9% Imperial IPA. Remember, Imperial just basically is adding more of the hop there. You're getting more alcohol out of it. Super juicy, bursting with tropical flavors. Just the thing to accommodate a swing in the hammock. Dave, do you feel like you should be swinging in a hammock?
We got 12 inches of snow on the ground and it's like 20 degrees out. No. Put me on for part 2 like in July and maybe. Yeah.
Dude, all I got to say is if you're just hopping on right now, get ready for a show. We're just warming up, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dave's got a 10%er basically. We're about to get in some heavy shots.
10%er and it's a 19-ounce can. Shit.
That's what I was gonna say,
dude. And we're following it up with maybe the strongest beer that Danny and I have ever reviewed on this show.
Yeah.
In between a couple of shots. Hey, Patrick says finally got to watch you on Sunday. Hope everything is going well. Welcome from Rochester. Great to see you here, Patrick. Thank you so much. We have Xi Jinping is back. Okay, the people's favorite. All right. Hopefully you're enjoying the Olympics in your home country right now. That is awesome. And, we have the TMD clan here. Rick Fontana, welcome. Rick. All right, Jens. I love the logo. Must be great. It's really. And shalom to Bucky Goldstein. I got to tell you, we're going to get into the label in a minute. I, too, love it. I love that it says 10,000 volts of flavor. But, holy cow, is this thing super strong and super easy to drink.
Yeah, I really like this beer.
Nate, you said this is a newer beer. It's only a month old.
I don't know, Dave. Have you seen? I think I just saw it hit the shelves a few weeks ago. Maybe it's been circulating, but I think we got it about a month ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been out long. It's been out here for maybe a month, 2 months tops. So it's a fairly new beer.
Okay. Hey, Dave, how important is the date for you on beer? Because sometimes like we don't really check them. And you might do a beer that's 6 months in a can or a bottle. You might do a beer that's a year old in a can. Does that have a big difference in it, or does that mean a lot to you?
It depends on the style of beer. Like the one that we're going to drink next, the barrel aged stout.
Uh-huh.
I buried some for years and it's been fine.
Hmm.
With a real hoppy IPA, freshness matters. Where after a while you lose the aroma, you
Yep.
lose the hop bitterness. So I think the answer to your question, Dan, is more of the style. So if I were drinking this, I'm going to look at the can to make sure it's within a couple months old. If it's a heavier stout or a porter, something like that, I'm not too worried about it.
Okay,
Did you have
good.
an opportunity to try the Celebration from Sierra Nevada, Dave?
Oh, love that. One of my favorite
right
beers.
right there's
He's
a
got
perfect
he did on his
example of
podcast.
Yeah,
fresh hopping where you want to drink that within probably 60 to 90 days so you get that
Exactly.
full impact. Where a
Yes.
stout, a porter, some of these other ones that you can that come out barrel aged, you can keep them in a dry place without any light, and as long as they're they're hidden, you'll be good.
Yeah, this one,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, this one's awesome.
Yes, exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, this one is really
Yeah,
good.
there's one by Anchor Steam out in San Francisco. They put out their Christmas beer every year, which is called Our Special Ale. I've kept some. I had one for 20 years. Cracked it
What?
open. The carbonation
Really?
was still good. It still tasted like the flavors inside the bottle mature. So yes,
Wow.
certain like your darker beers that aren't very hoppy, you could bury some for a while and come back and drink them years later, and they're still good, and they might even be better.
Nate, you got the bottle? Mine's over there in the fridge. Show Dave the Anchor Steam. We have that bottle.
Oh, you know what? It's in the fridge outside. I don't have it here.
Dave, I got a bottle of this. Hold on.
Yeah, the Magnums, yeah, that's great. They sell them here too.
The Christmas ale.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great
we
beer.
didn't actually try it this year, because we ran into an issue that we actually had more holiday beers than we could actually consume on the show.
Dude,
Yeah,
this is it. Anchor Steam.
yeah.
This thing is. I think we're good. We're good on cracking that later, right?
Oh yeah,
of course.
you can bury that and have that next year.
Yep.
Nice.
Or even next year, if you're going to do a show, do a side by side. Do the 2021 and the 2022.
Hey,
just to
I
see,
don't know
how
if I'll
different
make
they
it
are.
out alive, but
A lot happens in a year. Let's see
Yeah.
how much changes with the beer. Something like
Yeah.
that. So, Dave, do you have a favorite beer? Do you have like a go-to? Let's say like this. Like obviously, there's a lot of different IPA stouts, etc. Do you have, let's say, a regular beer where you're gonna drink and you're gonna be around a meal? You're probably gonna be around family, and you don't want to get too crazy, but it's just so good. And then let's have one where you just get totally sloshed out. You're at a beach volleyball game. You're drinking 12 to 15 of these things. You don't care. You're ready for the sun to go down. Let's do those two categories.
The one that would probably be my go-to is one of the earliest ones, Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just a great beer. As
Consistent.
far as like local Chicago, I'll pull it out. It's one that I always have with me, or it's always in the fridge. It's from a brewery called Dovetail.
Ooh.
Oh.
And it's an all they do is old European styles. There's no IPAs, there's no pale ales. It's all like German, European style.
Marzahn.
This is
Lager.
their Vienna Lager.
Yeah.
Love it. I always have, there's always a 4-pack of this somewhere around, whether it's in my fridge or it's in my cupboard waiting to have one. That's always a go-to.
Dovetail.
Yeah. Walking distance from the house too, so it's great. It's about a 10-minute walk. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these brewers that try to focus on the traditional kind of Bavarian style beer. They're mostly lager centric, right?
Yes.
So the brew process is completely different than you would have with the ale. So I like that too. I like the Bavarian style. I like the German style beer. Obviously, over the years, we've brought some of those beers back, like the Gosa, right? Like that kind of stuff. So, that's cool. They're very drinkable. They're very clean. You know, they're kind of designed as session beers.
Yeah.
I love the style. They taste like a meal. Like you're almost eating something. Like it's just,
very malty.
Yeah, it's got a creamy flavor to it, and like I love the Oktoberfest beers, the Marzans and stuff like that. Like, that stuff is good.
Oh, next time you come, Dan, travel, you got to come. They do a great Oktoberfest there at Dovetail. There's another brewery literally like 100 feet away. So they kind of join forces for Oktoberfest, and they've got the German brats there, everything going on. But that's one of my favorite breweries in the city. They just put one out that this place in Indiana got the malt from Vienna, and this malt hasn't been used since before World War II.
Wow.
And they brewed a beer with it. And there was like 5 or 6 breweries around the country that were chosen. This place, Dovetail, was one. And my God, amazing. It was outstanding. It was like almost like it had like a crackery taste of the malt. Really light, refreshing, but outstanding.
Yeah, I gotta check this out, Nate. I mean, I'm trying to go there either this summer or late fall because I really want to see a Cubs game. One of the things I really want to do is go to Chicago in the summertime and do a hot dog festival. And definitely, I got a couple of friends that live there, so definitely. And if I do, I'm gonna be hitting you up. So
absolutely, yeah. I'll take you to a few spots. I'll get you a good hot dog and
nice.
I got some pull around. I got some pull around Wrigley Field. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, this is what we're drinking right now. It is the Neon Beer Hug, delicious beer. You can see it's light. It's really strong for how light it is. 7%. Now Dave's drinking the tropical version. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit higher in alcohol content. It's got a little bit more fruity flavor. Do you taste a lot of like citric fruits going on, like the grapefruit in there, the lemon, the lime? Can you distinguish all that?
I'm getting that, but as it's warming up in the glass, like the after taste to me is right now it's all booze. Where like when it was colder, I had more of the fruits, the tropical fruit.
Nate?
All right. Having a little bit of technical difficulty with Dave there, but I'm sure he'll get patched in quickly. But yeah, go ahead. You're back, Dave.
Cool. Dave. Yeah, not like I was saying. Now I just get all booze as opposed to the hops are still there, but now it's like I'm drinking Malort.
The funny thing is about beer that because especially when you're in the lager world, a Bud Light or something of that nature, it's almost like we're designed to drink it as fast as we can, right? Because we don't want the temperature to change. But when you're in the ale world, right, you're in an IPA world, you're in a stout or a porter world, the variance between flavor on when you first sip that beer and when you're at the bottom is a unique experience in itself and is one that probably is the reason why craft beer purveyors go in that direction, because they're trying to showcase the actual flavor, and it's not something just to be washed down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times on this show, Nate, have I said, if we judged it on the first sip, it would be much different than actually finishing 100%. The bottle or can, because the something to do with the aroma and something to do with the temperature, I think, is the most, they're just a very definitive change going on there. And, either way, I'm really enjoying this beer. But Dave said something, and that's going to bring us to our next segment. We're not going to be doing, the Nate Knows, the teaching segment where Nate drops all his great knowledge about beer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Dave's show. Dave is going to introduce us to something. Great segment so far. Please introduce us to the Mighty Malort Morning.
Well, you guys are in for a treat. And like I don't know if people saw on social media, I didn't tell you guys about Malort Face. Now, I'm glad this is on video, and you'll get everyone that's watching. Patrick, I see Patrick here.
Yeah,
you're going to have to Google Malort Face, and that's the face people get that they've never had this before. And yeah, we're going to have good thing. This is going to be preserved and saved just to see the look on your faces. I only wish, Dan, like you would drink a shot of this while you had a glitter bomb going off, because that might be really good.
Well, I got to tell you, I knew about a Malort face because I was looking for hashtags, and this shit came up. Look at
this guy.
Bring that guy up closer. Oh no!
Look at this guy.
What? Is that Jonathan Toes?
Look at this guy.
The guy in the gray is my favorite so far, but yes, pretty nice young lady. Look at the girl and the wife beater. Oh.
Now it's funny that generally it's a rite of passage. You have somebody like being a Chicagoan, you have visitors from out of town. You give them a Malort, and for the most part, like, you'll never get that person to visit you again. So that's great. So you don't have to worry about having people come to the house. But my wife had her niece come by, and we took her to a bar. She loved it.
Dude, that's hilarious.
So, for those of you that don't know what actual Malort is, it's, obviously you got an aperitif, and a digestive. This isn't a digestive liqueur, right? So it's going to be very herbal, aromatic. I believe there's wormwood in here, and that's the same. That's the same element that you would find as something like an absinthe. So you're going to be drinking this at the end of a meal to try to loosen up the digestion, make you feel a little bit more comfortable. But I don't think that's.
Hold up, man. Am I going to be pooping diarrhea in a minute?
No, you're good. Don't worry about
it. It doesn't happen that quick. but it does help in aid the digestion. You'll feel less bloated. You'll feel less full. But this, I don't think, is being used in that manner. I think this is being used more like, and Dave, please correct me if I'm wrong, more like if you're going to a Coyote Ugly and they give you a PBR with a shot of whiskey. I feel like this is kind of more in that range.
Yes, we have a thing here in Chicago. It's called the Chicago Handshake, where it's like a Boilermaker, where it's a shot and a beer, but it's a shot of Malort. And what we have here is called Old Style.
Yep.
It's similar to a PBR, a macro beer, but it's called the Chicago Handshake. So you do a shot of Malort and an Old Style, and you're good to go. Malort's been around forever, but really only started getting popular here maybe the last 10 years or so. The young hipsters started drinking it. The bartenders of the world started pushing it. So it's only been a recent phenomenon where now it's just crazy, where pretty much all bars in Chicago you can get Malort.
It's so wild. I never heard of it. Yeah. Nate mentioned it to me about 3 months ago. He said, we got to get on this Chicago Malort stuff. I'm like, what the hell is Malort? I have no idea what it is.
This guy.
Yeah, it's really cool that you guys have your own drink that nobody ever knows about. And the Chicago Handshake, I love the idea of it. It's so cool, and just adds a lot of value to me when I meet people and I talk to my friends from Chicago. I got something really Chicago to talk about.
Yeah, you're going to talk about Malort, then you're going to call him a jagoff.
There you go, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you guys look on their website here, it gives you, we're not going to go through the entire history, right?
I like the quote.
Kind of interesting, but I like this. It's not a drink for most people, but we're not most people. I like to think I fall in that category. Through the decades, Jeppson's Malort, a traditional wormwood-based digestif, has been thought of as a rite of passage or a hangover cure. For many Chicagoans, Malort is the drink that has defined the Chicago bar experience. Dave, do you agree?
Yes. And they also have, it has not come from Malort, but has come from other people where they have some other great slogans about it, which some of them are like, Malort, these pants aren't going to shit themselves. Malort, pumpkin spice for sadists. And my favorite one, Malort, tonight's the night you're going to fight your dad.
I like that too. Yeah. That's good.
But yeah, it's just,
Speaking of dad, we haven't had my dad on the show in a long time. We're gonna call his ass up before we do this shot. Hold on a minute. Let me see if his ass is up. I love the shit the pants one. That's hysterical.
Well, I mean, yeah. So I have a feeling it's going to be somewhere in that herbal liqueur range, an elderflower, a Jägermeister, Campari.
Yeah, you're just in for a treat. Don't try to figure out. It's like gasoline, feet, and regret.
Oh,
yeah. Hey, Dad. Hop on the show. We're about to try some shit shot from Chicago called Malort.
Come on, Mark.
he goes, you ever have Malort?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, neither have I. You got to hop on and check this shit out. All right, thanks. Bye. All right, so Pops is a long time. He always hops on the show. And yeah, that's pretty funny. So this is it. I've had wormwood. I've had like real absinthe from Europe and stuff like that. I was told it makes you hallucinate over the sugar cube and like, the fire and stuff like that. I just got a bad taste. That's really about it.
Yeah. And like the wormwood that they use for this doesn't have any of the you're not going to cut off your ear like Van Gogh, drinking this. You might cut someone else's ear off, but you're not going to cut off your own.
Are we going to do it or what?
Sweet mother of God. My favorite quote was, these pants aren't going to shit themselves. That's for another
take
show.
a shot or what? What's going on?
Can't comment today in the middle of prepping food, but what a great thank you, Brennan. So I didn't get the Malort. Shouts out to actual Jepson's Malort for sending Nate the bottle. Nate, show him the bottle that they sent you. They reached out.
I was able to get this from our Twitter account. If you guys are not following, it's Weekly Beer Show on Twitter. And I was talking with the Jepson Twitter team, and they sent us a bottle to try. And I sent Danny about 3 shots worth. Maybe he can show you the vessel I sent it in.
Yeah, I didn't get that nice bottle of Jepson's, and I've actually been talking to Jepson's as well on Instagram. They reached out. They said they can't wait for the review. But Nate shipped me a little bit in a nice flask. So
Las
there you go.
I got a pink flask. So I haven't cracked this open. Let's go into the stuff.
I told you guys, like I was talking to Nate. I'm like, you can't smell it. You just got to do it.
Haven't smelled it.
Wait, I can't smell it out of the box? Okay, all right.
So if you're going to drink it, you can smell it.
All right.
You guys ready?
All right, hold on a minute. Oh, it sounds like it's going to be delicious, says Emily. Pops is here. Oof. I'm going to do a full
I'm not
shot
going to smell. I'm going to pour it.
It kind of looks like gasoline. This is a full shot. Dave, is this stuff strong?
It's 35%.
Okay.
So 70 proof for those of you scoring at home.
Yeah.
Sounds like so. All right, guys. Cheers,
guys.
Cheers to Malort.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The Malort face.
Malort face.
Ooh, I like that.
Ugh.
Oh man, that's right up my alley.
Yeah. What the fuck? You like the inside of a rubber tire?
Dude, that's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Well, Dan, I think super good. Dan, I think your Malort sponsorship has gone down the shitter after that review.
Dude, no, it's
I'm
so
sorry.
it tastes like Chinese medicine.
It tastes like something.
Chinese medicine. It tastes like Chinese medicine.
Yeah, it's
100%.
It tastes like if I went down in my parents' washer area and I collected the pennies, and some of them got the green, and I sucked on a bunch of those pennies. That's what it tastes like.
I like fantastic.
It's this accompanied with a really cold beer. I'm kind of on board with that. I think I'd like to try it Boilermaker Chicago Handshake style. Yes. As a matter of fact, I might do it later because I can go get a Pilsner and drop it in. But yeah, I kind of like it. I think that the herbal the herbal element to it really would work off the maltiness of a beer.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, man. I think cheap beer is the way to go. I love what Rocco says, and I'm going with Rocco, man. I'm more of a grappo drinker, and I like the other one a lot too. Zambuca.
All right.
That's another digestive. Yep.
Yeah, this one's mail me a flask, Nate.
Deal.
We're in the midst of making flasks, pink flasks. That say the weekly beer show. So stay tuned for that. We got some merchandise coming out. But Dave, do you have any merch where people can go ahead and if they follow you, they can go ahead and purchase and help progress you along and just basically support you in what you're doing?
I've made some stuff, the usual stickers, the magnets and stuff like that. I'll just give them away. If somebody wants to reach out, I'll by all means, I'll mail you out some stickers and stuff. I made some hats, some polo shirts that I've been giving away. I'm still working on trying to get my logo is really good. I have a poker chip here with
nice.
It's the Chicago Star with the beer glass in the middle.
Love it.
I love it.
But
yeah.
this also doesn't have the name of the podcast on it. So I'm working on trying to get like the right design for like shirts and hats. I have a Teespring page. If you go to like my Twitter feed, you'll see on there I have a link tree. There's a Teespring page where you can like order t-shirts, but I'm still working on like the best like design that would look well for everything.
Nice. Yeah, it's Mike said when I was stationed in Vincenzo, Grappa took 2 years off my life. Yeah. That's awesome. I know exactly where you're at in the process because I'm right now picking out t-shirts and I've gone with another third party that's going to do all the back end work, even if my margin's a little bit lower, but the quality of shirt is better.
Yeah.
The thing about Teespring is you're asking somebody to pay $25. You want to give them a good product. Yeah. I felt like Teespring for me personally, it was that weird polyester, heavy kind of shirt, like the high ring. I want the new style. So I know what you're talking about, but nevertheless, please go ahead and follow Beer in Front. Down below in the description is the link, and you can check out all of his merchandise. And Dave is awesome. His podcast is great if you're a beer lover, and if you just want to hear some stories about jagoffs.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Dave,
them.
What's a ham-ass beer?
Ham-ass beer. There's a couple friends of mine in California who don't like the Rauch beers, the smoked Rauch beers. Yep. So they call it a ham-ass beer. So I created this. People that order it, I give all the money I make, every penny, over to their organization. So, it's not for myself. People, I have one. I know a lot of people have bought them. And then I get the money every month from Teespring.
Sorry. We were doing my mom came on, so we were doing jazz hands. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. All the money I get from ham-ass beer goes to this company or this organization called Black and Soul. So great organization, great people. So if you like smoky Rauch beers, grab a ham-ass beer shirt and support a great organization.
Awesome.
That's really cool. I didn't know what that meant either. I shite right now. It says in my defense, I was left unsupervised. Yeah. Does he have Hams beer? Says Frank. Have you reviewed Hams?
Yes, I have. I had Hams on a couple months ago. I had the old clip of, from the land of sky blue, all that on there. So yeah, that wasn't my favorite of the macro beers, but it's still a good beer. You're going to sit outside, throw a couple steaks on the grill. Yeah. It does its job.
Ice cold.
Yes.
Ice cold. Yeah.
Ice cold. Yeah. And maybe with a shot of Malort.
There you go.
Well, it's interesting. I still taste the Malort.
Oh, man, it's super strong. It's like
you don't have to brush your teeth for a couple of weeks now.
Exactly. I like it.
It's an interesting flavor. It's an interesting flavor. Out of the gym. All right, have a good workout. Rick, Nate, it's time for good news. time for that segment in this show where we go ahead and bring up good news. I know out there you never want to read some crazy shit and go out on the the wormhole of actually following all this kind of stuff, and you can really psych yourself out, especially with the negative stuff. Negativity tends to breed really well on news shows, so be careful of that. But on this show, we bring you one good news, and this is what I want to go ahead, throw that picture up there, Nate, and this is really good news for this month.
Which one is it, Danny? We didn't talk about it this morning.
The quarter.
The quarter. Boom.
All right, that right there is Maya Angelou. She becomes the first Black woman to be on the U.S. quarter. At the beginning of January 2022, the United States Mint started the American Woman Quarters Program by shipping out quarters with Maya Angelou featured on one of the coin. With Angelou being the first Black woman on any U.S. currency, this is a milestone that has been long awaited. Angelou was a prominent American civil rights activist, author, and poet. She published the autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a famous story about civil rights that has been read by millions of students around the country. I love this. First of all, the design is really cool. Go ahead and show what Maya Angelou looks like. Can you see her over there, Nate? Yeah. So this is taking some time. She's a little older now, but different time back in the civil rights movement. And it's just really nice that's like, I don't know how to say this with the current temperature the way it is, but it's just really nice to see a person like her that devoted her life to civil rights, that moved so many people in a weird way that this country has been shaped. It is definitely nice to see her being promoted out there by being put on the quarter and being the first of its kind. So congratulations to Maya. This is African American History Month. So that's pretty cool that it just coincidentally fell on the good news, but look for those quarters. If I get a chance to see one, I'll go ahead and show you here on the show. Nate, have you seen these quarters around? Dave, have you seen them?
I don't use quarters really that much anymore, to be honest with you. Any physical money, I'm really not touching.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, I feel bad. Like, when I go to work, I take public transportation, and sometimes you see like, homeless guy or whatever. And there's one guy in O'Hare. He's a really nice guy. So I always try to give him like sometimes at work, if passengers are going to be late for whatever, they'll throw them like some snack bags. I always try to keep one, give it to this guy, give him money, but I don't carry cash anymore. It's hard to know. I have not seen the quarter. It's kind of a long roundabout way to say no. I haven't seen the quarter yet.
We love it.
But I don't carry cash anymore half the time.
Yeah, it's very hard to, I don't think I have either, especially at quarters. I put them in this little jar, but Mike's has always loved her poem about the hope and dream of the slave. I'll have to check that out. I'm not too familiar with their poetry, but that kind of stuff really moves me because I can't imagine I just can't imagine what it would be like to be in that situation. I'll say that. I don't want to say much more. We know we don't get too political or socially active on here, but congratulations to Maya Angelou. I think that's friggin' awesome. I'm going to look for those quarters, and I'm going to go ahead and try to find one with her on it. So that's the good news. That is great news, actually. And let's move on to the next segment where we talk about the show and tell. All right, show and tell, baby. Remember kindergarten, show and tell? So, Dave, do you have anything to show us and talk about?
I have, because I know Nate, I had to make sure I'm looking at the camera in reverse. I got my nice Beer Zombie shirt from Vegas. I had to make sure I had that on there. My good friend, if he's listening, we're watching, Ray hooked me up with the Beer Zombie shirt. So I always get some good Vegas stuff from him. They get my friend Oscar always sends me LA stuff. So Dan, I always get some LA stuff too. My show and tell me reach on and grab this. I have a nice lunch box.
Oh,
one of our Chicago breweries here, which is Revolution.
Oh, wow.
So
Revolution Chicago?
Yeah, Revolution Chicago. They are like Goose came out in like the late 80s, like 88. And Revolution came out about 12 years ago, like 2010. I could be off by a year or so, but right around 2010, they are killing it. So my lunchbox is Everyday Hero Session IPA.
I like it.
Revolution. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
The old
man.
school metal lunchbox like we used to get back in the day with like the $6 Million Man and stuff. It's the old school metal lunchbox.
Yep. And it would come with the matching thermos.
Yes.
Yeah,
That would always break.
have-
You'd always like bang it down and the thermos would break and there'd be fucking glass everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. That's awesome. And like I said, if you ever come to LA or Vegas, we're meeting up for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, we're gonna definitely do some collaboration. Mike's got some good news on the Rock Promo wrestling style for the United States Olympic team. The team entered the arena to the tune of Pomp and Circumstance. Macho Man's, yeah, hell yeah. We love Macho Man. Dave, were you a big wrestling fan?
I was back in the day. I met Macho Man a couple times and Miss Elizabeth.
Oh,
great people. May they both rest in peace. But yeah both Macho Man, big fan. I remember one time working at the airport and I knew him, but I wasn't friends with him. But friends of mine were friends with him. So we brought him into the back office to get him away from everybody wanting to bug him for autographs and stuff. So they send me out, of all people. At the time, I was like 25-year-old, skinny, snot-nosed kid. You got to pick up Miss Elizabeth from her flight and bring her in here. Like, I'm going to be a bodyguard. At the time, I was probably 140 pounds soaking wet. So I'm sitting there like, oh, come on. So I was Miss Elizabeth's bodyguard for like 2 minutes, bringing her into a back office.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. This is Elizabeth, beautiful. All right, well, I can start to feel it kicking in. I'm definitely getting a little loose.
Yeah.
Let's whack this.
You got to take a break, Dan? You got to go to the bathroom or something? We got to take a break here for a minute.
No bathroom. But let's whack it down and give it a score. This is the Neon Beer Hugs. Really delicious beer from Goose Island.
Yeah, I liked it. That was a good beer.
Really good. I mean, let's go in. And Dave, I'm going to tell you what we're going to score it on. You can throw out a 0.5 up to 5. The highest score is 25 for each category. We add them up. So we'll come to you after Nate's, but let's talk about taste. It's exactly what I want in a beer. It tastes very hoppy. It tastes very light, so you're able to get through it. This beer is friggin' dangerous because I feel like Nate, I feel like you could whack down a 6-pack to these things and think you're good, like comparatively to other 6-packs, but it's 7%. So pretty much double every beer. So you drink a 12-pack, I don't care who you are, you're buzzed. You're probably smashed. But really good, but the taste is nice. It's not overpowering in this way with citric. It's not overpowering with hops. It just tastes like it should. And I love it, actually. I'm going to give it a score of a 4.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 3.5. I like it. I think it's really good. It definitely is hitting what I expected to do after the description that I read. And it's going to be something that's a little bit more of a traditional IPA option for Goose Island. I have a feeling the way that they're marketing this is going to be around for a while. That's what it feels like to me. And I think it's a good addition to their lineup. So for me, 3.5.
Nice. Dave, what are you giving the taste on this one?
All right. Like I said, I'm having the one that's the Imperial. So it's a little different. And mine was a 19-ounce can. Yours was the 12. So as I'm drinking it now, it's a different beer than when I first had, but I'm going to go with what I first gave it, because I don't think it's fair to like knock it down. It was a 3.5. When I cracked it open, outstanding. You had a good, nice aroma, nice taste to it. Like, we were talking earlier, the hops hit you up front, the bitterness hit you at the end. So I'd give it a 3.5. Really good.
Nice. You know what? On taste alone, guys, this is the type of beer that I would refer to people who want to try an IPA. Yeah. Maybe you have a girl that never tried it, or somebody that is a little scared of trying some weird thing that'll be a little funky.
Oh, I know some girls that drink more IPAs than you do, Dan. So
that's not. I guess that came out wrong.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right.
Watch.
Another
I'm gonna-
Malort for you. More Malort for you, Dan.
I'm gonna hit a big movie and they're gonna come after me. What I meant was, it's maybe you have somebody that never really tried from a different country, tried an IPA, and then this might be the one you might recommend. So please don't come back and hit me with a Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Anyway, going with the price, look, $1.99, Nate.
Yep.
Can't beat it. For what you get, can't beat it. 4.5. Love it.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.0. I think it's a really good price too, considering the alcohol volume. You're getting, number one, a brand new offering from a pretty good and reputable brewer here in America.
Ooh.
Something new, something interesting, 7%, 4.0.
Nice. Okay.
The can here was $3 for a 19-ounce can of a 10% beer.
Okay.
I don't think you can go wrong with that. So,
No.
I mean, if you're just looking to, have a one and done, you've got a nice buzz going all night, I'd give this the price point on this for what you're getting, a 4.5.
Yeah,
Nice. Like it, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the design. I think this design is excellent. Going back to Tenacious Freak's comment, all right, you got a bear. It's got the neon colors. And if you look at the contrast with Dave's beer, it's basically the same thing, just the colors reverted. I love this. I love that it says born in Chicago in 88. I think that's just really cool. I love all of the I love nation pride when it's done right, and I love city pride when it's done right. And I think this really encapsulates what Goose Island is doing, and I think that's really cool. I love that it's just an interesting can. I'm gonna go ahead and get a score of 4.0.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 3.5. I like their style too. I think it's interesting. And by the way, it's neon beer hug, not bear hug. So
what was I calling it? Oh, beer hug.
Yeah, it's beer hug. And I said the same thing for the first couple of times, and then I corrected myself. But I like the glasses on there. I like the beer. The bear. I like that it says 10,000 volts of flavor. That's pretty cool. So for me, 3.5. It's a good can. It's an interesting can that I think has legs. It can hang around for a while.
Nice.
I'd have to give it a 4.0. I like the can. I think it's a playoff on the Chicago Bears football team. So you have the bear that's in front of it. I mean, it's not the same logo, but if you were to look at it at quick glance, you might say, oh, okay, Chicago Bears, Chicago beer. So I like how they subtly, try to incorporate that. It's bright. It's eye-catching. If you're in a liquor store, grocery store, you might see this. Oh, I'm going to give this a whirl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely would give it a 4.
Nice. All right. Cool. All right. Let's go on to accessibility. Accessibility, look, unless you're in Chicago or, Nate was able to find in LA. So there's probably some pretty good, branding and marketing going on. They're getting this thing out. It's fairly new. I'm going to go ahead and give it a score of a 3.0 because we just don't know. Worldwide, this thing is going to be hard to get. Nationwide, we're still figuring that out. But I think you can find it in LA, Chicago, Houston, Florida. Oh, yeah. Or you can't even find it in Chicago. So I'm giving it a score of a 3.0. But accessibility. Nate,
I'm doing a 3.0 as well, basically for the same reasons. I do think over the next couple of months, you're going to see this beer everywhere. I think what they've done is they probably sent it out, maybe beta tested it to a smaller distribution. Within a year, if this thing kind of plays out the way they expect, it's going to be all over the place, but it's going to get dinged because it's not going to be internationally available outside of those kind of very specific niche style bottle shops that you might see around the world. So for me, access right now currently is 3.0.
No.
I'd have to give it a 2.5 because being the home market for Goose Island, I couldn't get it outside of if I wanted to go to the actual brewery and get a growler of it this morning. So I couldn't find it here. The only thing I could find was the tropical. So it's a little disappointing, but you can find the tropical. I saw the tropical at a few different places. We have a huge chain liquor store here. It was there. We have our large grocery store chain here. It was there, but just not the one you're having. So what, I'll give it right now. I'll split it down the middle and give it a 2.5 for accessibility.
2.5 is a fair score. Okay. All right, so let's go to the TMD X Factor. Look, the fact that it's from Chicago, that it's from Goose, the Chicago's Lake people. I'm from Buffalo. Absolutely love that. We have Dave, beer in front on the show right here in front of us. You don't know how this is. I'm so excited. You know, like when I get new guests and people that are like us. Look, there's a lot of people that you meet in your life that you probably wouldn't hang out with, but there's also people that you meet that you probably would hang out with. Dave is probably one of those people that we would naturally, organically meet. You know what I mean? It's just weird how the fucking world works. But we met up. We're here on the show. I got to go ahead. Nothing lower than a 5.0 because I think that this is the TMD Ultra Factor, and we're doing it here. 5.0. Screw it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go. Danny's super pumped up. I'm going to go 4.0 just because of. I like the beer. I like the experience with beer in front. I like the style of the beer. I think it's a really good offering from a really reputable. I guess they're kind of macro brand at this point. But for me, 4.0, I like it. There's not much to complain about. 4.0.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm going to split the middle here and go 4.5 between you guys, where it's a good beer. They have a national good name.
Yep.
Or, I don't want to get too much into it. For the most part, they have a good name, and you could see it if you're into the trendy, hazy stuff or the big tropical stuff. I think you're going to like this. So I'm going to go with a 4.5, and it was great that, we got together over this beer and Malort and other shit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we haven't even gotten to the atomic bomb yet.
I know.
Okay, the second beer is going to be even more.
Knockout punch.
Yeah. All right, guys. I gave my score, the Neon Beer Hug, a 21. Wow. A 21. Amazing score.
That's big time.
Amazing beer. Amazing beer. What'd you give it, Nate?
I got an 18 overall. For me, that's a pretty good score. 21's phenomenal. Dave, what's your total?
Oh, I didn't know I was keeping score. I didn't have a fucking whiteboard here. What the hell?
I love it. I got you, Dave.
What do you got?
Nate, talk to Dave while I do the math. It takes me
do the math.
Yeah, so typically we'll round them out at the end. Now, Danny does score a little bit more lenient than I do. I'm a little bit more critical. He likes especially.
I'm probably right in the middle between you guys. Yeah,
you are, Dave.
Oh.
In case you were wondering, Dave's score was a 19.
All right,
19, which is
I didn't know I had to go to fucking Joanne Fabrics or Michael's for a whiteboard. You guys didn't tell me this. You jagoffs.
There you go. Perfectly used in the wild.
Please put me on a jagoff session. Well, it's time for the second beer. I am so excited to try this one. This one was brought to my attention again by our scout here, Nate, the host, the co-host here is just phenomenal with this kind of stuff. He just sends me pictures of beer all day long. I absolutely love it. And he brought up this one. Now, this one, I don't know how to properly explain it. We'll get to that in a minute. It is also from Goose Island. It is the Bourbon County Brand Classic Cola Stout.
Woo!
Check it out. All right.
I'm going to do the backside here, Danny, while you do the front.
Here's the wackiest thing about this thing. This bottle of beer was $28.
Yeah, so here, it's super expensive. Like it's so this is Goose Island, but it's done. So they've got different series, right? And they have one basically about it's called Bourbon County Brewing, or is it Bourbon County?
Bourbon County Brand Stout.
There you go. Bourbon County Brand Stout. So they've got like 3 or 4 options every year, I think, Dave.
No, they're pushing the limits where I think now they're up to like 8 or 9 different variants.
Really?
And like the one you're having, it's hard to find. Like when it came out here, a couple friends of mine picked it up, but there's like an aftermarket where it's like $40.
Wow.
And I wasn't able to get that one. I looked, I was just able to get the regular. They had a couple different variants, but some were pushing $100 a bottle.
Oh.
And I don't know. I'm sure it's great, but I still have a hard time dropping that much money for a bottle of beer.
Yeah. It's a lot. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, the ABV here on a lot of these, you're looking at anywhere between 12-14%. So they're banger beers,
Oh, yeah.
I think these bottles are 16.9 ounces. So you're getting more than your traditional standard can of beer and the alcohol volumes there. But obviously, they're going for more of a very niche market where you can buy these and even sell them aftermarket.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy that 14%. I mean, shouts out to you, Barrow. Welcome all the way from India. Yes, good to see you here. Quite expensive, but once in a while it's worth a shot trying. I'm excited.
Yeah, every now and then you got to treat yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't spend frivolous money, and you know what I mean. Like I'm not like a bling bling type of guy. So you know what? $28 for this bottle of beer. Let's see what it's all about. There it is, Nate.
Here you go. So just how they describe it here from Goose Island themselves, pushing the boundaries of barrel-aged stouts is in our DNA. And with that, we brought to life our first ever cola-inspired variant. That's the thing that really kind of caught my attention is cola in a beer.
Yeah.
I absolutely love cola flavor overall, and I cannot wait to try this. Brewers Paul Cade and Jason Krasowski bonded over their love for a classic cola while creating the Classic Cola Stout. Combining the refreshing nature of classic cola and picking up the flavor profile from a whiskey cola, we added lime and orange juice and zest, plus coriander, acacia bark, nutmeg, brown sugar, and vanilla to bring out the complex characters of the classic drink. This is the ultimate twist on a whiskey cola and a must-try for Bourbon County Stout Cola or whiskey/cola lovers. Sorry, guys, that was a little bit verbose. But that's what they said here. And you can see down at the bottom. Actually, they don't have the details. So Imperial Stout aged bourbon in bourbon barrels, IBU of 60. Doesn't tell us that much. It's not going to be that bitter. I kind of believe Jesus, I'm already drunk.
What's going on over there, dude? I don't even know what verbose means.
I'm kind of expecting this beer to be super, super sweet and very low in carbonation. That's my guess.
I don't even know what it's going to taste like. All I know is let's go ahead and crack this open. Then we're going to go on a brewery tour. And then we're going to get to the favorite part of the show of what would you rather. So let's go ahead and crack it open, guys. Got your bottle opener. All right. Dave is doing a different of the bourbon counties. Which one are you doing, Dave?
I'm doing just the basic Bourbon County brand stout. This is the one they produce the most of this. It's available everywhere. This was the one that started it all. This is like the OG of it. And
yeah,
wow.
I got to tell you,
this smells like, I mean, it's like,
doesn't smell good.
I don't like that. You don't like the smell of molasses? You don't like the smell of brown sugar?
Well, now that it's floated out of the bottle a little bit, it does bring up that molasses smell.
Yeah.
But when I first smelled it, it was like, it was not good. But hey, we didn't.
Was it better than the smell of the Malort?
No, Malort smell is phenomenal.
Yeah. Malort smell is definitely different. You know, this is going to be a thick beer being a stout.
Oh
my God, this stuff is floating out.
Oh my God, it's castor oil.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I'm drinking this.
I can't even fit it all in this glass.
Dude, this is like,
it's hard to see. I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but they have. This is released every year on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and you got people lined up outside. It could be colder than a witch's heart out there, and people are lined up to buy this shit everywhere. They have a thing called Prop Days. So this is my Prop Days glass that I'm drinking this out of for you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, well, hey, here it is, guys. I think Nate's right. This is like oil. That's really great information that we would never know about unless we're in Chicago. We just see that at our local chain. Here we go, guys. Cheers. I'm going to save it from spilling on the keyboard. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, that nose.
Wow. Ooh, I like it.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of things going on in this thing. There's a lot of shit going on. Oh my God. Where do I begin? Okay.
All right, it's boozy.
It's very boozy. The thing that I taste, There is so many friggin' flavors going on in your mouth right now. I don't even know how to explain it. I just, it's like drinking somebody's syrup off of their diner plate after they just ate pancakes with pecans. I don't taste any of the cola. I definitely am interested how strong it is. Very boozy, but overall not bad, just different.
Yeah, I mean, it's so, all right. You got to understand when you're getting into this segment of beer, you have to understand what you're expecting. This is not a beer that you're going to be drinking at a barbecue with a bunch of friends over and you're starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and you're going to go for the entire day. This is not that. This is a dessert kind of stout that you're going to want to drink probably one of at the end of the night as a nightcap to just kind of peacefully fall asleep. That's what this is. It's a slow sipper. It's very thick. It's got a ton of personality. It does kind of feel like a cola to me without being offensive. And it does have a whiskey cola profile. I don't get any of the citrus that they're talking about, but I definitely get super heavy stout and I get the coriander a lot. So that is the thing that kind of stands out to me, which tells me it's a cola. That's a flavor that you probably don't know is in cola.
No idea.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing that I draw from it. I really like it. I got to be careful with it. It's super boozy, super strong. We shouldn't be drinking it at 11:15 in the morning. But we are.
Dave, how you doing?
We've all done it. Yeah. This one, the regular one, is really good. And it's in front of me. So I just have to, I can't base this on other beers, other shit. Like, if I'm just having this, it's a really, really good beer. But there's still part of me that, like, I've been drinking this for 15 years.
Wow.
I do remember liking this better back then. But that just could be, I drank a lot in the last 15 years. I'm sure I've lost some brain cells, so it could just be me. But I think it has tasted better. But just to sit here and talk to you guys and drink this, it's a great beer.
Now, so let me ask you this. 15 years ago, or whenever that was, when they first started introducing this bourbon barrel series, was it just one stout? Did they start with one?
Yes, and it was in a 4-pack of 12-ounce bottles. And are you guys good with time? I got a story. If you're good with time.
Hey, I'm good. Are you good with time? Because I can sit here for 2 hours.
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. So the statute of limitations has passed. So I work for an airline. I'm not going to say which one, but me and my buddies, we would go every year to a different spot for the NCAA basketball tournament. We'd hop on a plane. We'll see the Sweet 16, and we'll have some good beers, good cigars. So a couple of us snuck a 4-pack of this in our suitcases. We were caught. TSA finds us, grabs us, brings us onto an empty jet bridge, frisks me like I've never been frisked before. Like, I really wanted to ask the guy for his number and a cigarette when he was done, because he really frisked me. They tried to confiscate our stuff and then wanted to fine us $11,000 for smuggling this beer.
What?
So I've had a long affair. We got out of it.
No.
But I've had a long affair with this beer. And
I love it.
I'm a big fan. And yes, I still feel violated from, being assaulted on an empty jet bridge, from being patted down and everything else.
So
I don't know what's more fun to imagine. You getting tickled a little bit, or just an airline employee bringing beer over the flight.
And ever since then, there's signs all over, you can't do this. So it's kind of like the Dave rule. Don't do this shit.
I love it, Dave. I love it.
So the question I have about Goose Island, right? So they have their standard year-round offerings, their normal beers, and now they're adding this Neon Beer Hug, which is going to probably conveniently get pushed into that year-long category, right? Do people really get more fanatical in your area over this Bourbon County series? Like, is this the thing that elevates Goose Island to kind of iconic status in Chicago, especially now that Goose Island IPA isn't even brewed there anymore?
Yeah. Yes and no. This is by far within the city and suburbs the beer that people still go crazy about.
Sure.
But from what I've witnessed and talking to friends of mine, it started to dwindle in the last couple of years. And I think a lot of that is COVID, and you can't go to this prop days and have this big festival. I think another reason, and Goose started this, the barrel-aged beer program all started with Goose Island.
That's interesting.
Really?
And I think a lot of other brewers have caught up to them.
Doing
And
it better?
We're doing it, yeah.
And it's all subjective. What I think is
Sure, of
better.
course.
Yeah.
People are loyal to their brand too.
Yes. But there's some revolution, like we mentioned earlier. They are absolutely killing it with their barrel age program. A lot of other breweries are. So I think with Goose Island being sold to AB, other breweries catching up to them, it's kind of like leveling the playing field. People still go crazy about it, but not as much as, like, say, 5 years ago.
You know, we'll need to do maybe a just one beer over the next couple of months and try one of these Revolution barrel, kind of barrel aged series beers, because I like them. Danny, I know we've talked about it a little bit in the past. They can be offensive. They're super strong. They've got a flavor profile that it's not for everybody. But I'm kind of growing to like these things a little bit. And wild ales, I'll throw into that category as well. Any of these kind of periphery style beers that are not your traditional brew processes, I like this. I think it's interesting. It's different. It's a special beer that you don't drink all the time. You drink maybe this one bottle once a year.
I think it's really interesting what Dave said about how other people are either catching up. It's great that they were the first. And then there was this little break called COVID. And then people caught up, and they're doing it now. And people are, look, they might like this one. This might be better tasting, but because they live in Louisiana or because they live in Nebraska and they're doing it at their favorite brewery, people are biased. They're going to go ahead and say, you know what, I like this one, rather than actually, this is the creator of it. I'm not a huge fan of this. I'm not a huge fan of bourbon in general. I like beer. So for me, it's like mixed results. This thing is crazy tasting. To all my European friends, this is I think what you guys are talking about when you're like, oh, American beer is water. This is
not water.
Yeah.
This is not water. It's
a bottle of wine.
Yeah, this is pure intoxicating sludge. I mean, I'm looking at the rim of this thing. There's like a crazy film of like redness going on. It's just brutal, this thing, how strong it is.
Are you guys picking up the Coke Jack and Coke element that they're kind of marketing?
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't get that either, because there's a very particular flavor profile to rum and Coke or Jack and Coke that is very off-putting to me.
Yeah, and
I don't get any of that in this drink.
Yeah, the 90s in general, especially the early 90s with the baggy clothes and rum and Coke and
Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld. I've kind of left them behind, but very, very interesting taste. Nate, we've been here reviewing. We did Neon Beer Hugs. Now we're doing this one. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the Goose Island Brewery.
Do we actually have a promo here, Danny? I don't see it.
Okay, I'll do it. Hey, guys. Hey, what'd you guys think of that one, huh?
Go
Hey,
back to that pretzel. I could kill a couple of those pretzels right now.
Dave, have you been to their actual brewery?
Yeah, they have 2 locations here. They have like their original on Clybourne, which was their original location, which is now like a tap room. That's a cool place. And then their production facility, which is on Fulton in Chicago, that's really cool too. That's where their Prop Days festival is usually had.
Ah,
They have a festival like usually mid-September, great bands. I mean, I saw like I'm an old punk rock guy. They had Against Me was there a couple years ago. A really cool place on Fulton. So yes, no, I've been to both places here.
First of all, what was that stuff all over the pretzel? That looked amazing.
Yeah, that was like an everything pretzel. It looked like it. I'd kill 2 of those right now.
Do you remember when Michael Scott was in line? He wanted to get the pretzel and he wanted to get everything on it and he fell asleep.
No, the best is Stanley. Michael, I don't like you. I don't respect you. I can't stand you. I come here for 2 days. This day in pretzel day.
In pretzel day. Oh, man. Danny, so do you think you can drink another one of these before next year?
Yeah. Look, I'm always game to drink it. Would it be my choice? No, especially one, the price is obnoxious and like I understand what they're doing and I like that. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But it's just really thick. It's like literally drinking syrup.
It is.
It like you said, it's a molasses. It's like almost like somebody their first time home brewing and they were gonna make a Marzon and they dropped the whole fucking bag of malt in there. But it's
why don't you chase that with a little Malort? I think you'd be good.
Hey, we're closing the show out with a Malort shot, guys. Guys, we're going for a big time. You know, Nate, we don't really go this long usually, but we're doing it. We're going to 2 hours. Cindy,
It's your show. It's your house, man. You tell me to take my shoes off. I take my shoes off. It's your house. I'm good to go.
Well, let's get into our favorite segment. What would you rather? Chicago style. Yeah. Woo! All right, Dave. Here we go. Let's get right into it. If you're just hopping on, we're drinking this one. Is the bourbon.
I got half of it on my pants out, so don't worry about it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, my face is super red right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the cola style. Hey, forget about it. All right, here we go. Now, excuse my pronunciation. If I pronounce this wrong, I'm sure Dave will correct me because these types of things are hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
But, you know, geographically, we always correct each other. I'm from I'm from Canmore, but we live in Tonawanda. But here we go. The
fuck is that?
Oh, dude, what the fuck is going on right now?
We're not even halfway done with that beer, by the way. Sorry.
Cuyahoga Mounds. Look at these suckers. All right. What would you rather? Cuyahoga Mounds. Okay. These are these crazy mounds that were built by Native Americans. There's over 400 of them in this area. They're these crazy things that, well, they based off the principle of their ancient civilization where the people lived above high elevations and areas where they can go ahead and have their home. Really pretty cool. Just one of the weird and obscure things here in the United States that actually I've never even known about. It's here in Illinois. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, Dave, or have you ever been there, but that is the what would you rather? Would you rather go to Cuyahoga Mounds or consider the best Japanese garden in the United States, the Anderson Japanese Garden? Anderson. Look at that. Beautiful, lush. You got your red maples in there. You got some type of fern. Beautiful wood on that bridge.
Like a landscaper.
Yeah.
I know. Like my balls hurt just going down those fucking mounds. So I'm going to the garden. I have not been to the garden that you showed, but we have a Japanese garden in a place. It's not in the city, but it's just outside, called the Botanic Gardens, that
Sure.
has beautiful Japanese gardens, and you won't bust your balls going down a fucking sled hill like you just showed me. How the fuck was that?
I love it. I absolutely
All right,
love
so we
it.
got. Go ahead, Danny.
Dude, what
I
the
mean-
hell is that?
I mean, listen, this marks my 11th year today. Marks my 11th year since China, since when I first moved there. And those mountains ain't shit compared to the mountains I used to scale. I don't know who put the steps there, but thank you for doing that. I'm always into the weird and obscure thing. I'm going with the Hokakai mountains. Nate, what about you?
Yeah, so those, I don't know, they just look like a bunch of mounds of dirt. So I'm going to go with the Anderson Japanese Gardens. Number one, it's my son's namesake. So I have to choose that. He'd be disappointed if I didn't choose his namesake for a garden. Plus, it's Japanese. My favorite culture on this planet is the Japanese culture. And yeah, Anderson Japanese Gardens, 1, 2, and 3 for me.
You're a weeaboo. You're a weeaboo.
Agreed.
People, I didn't know this was a term. Apparently, white people that are in the Japanese cultures are called weeaboo. So,
Yeah, so I'm a weeaboo. Sounds like a caribou, but
a couple of guys like the three of us
Yeah.
that lived the 80s. We don't even know what the hell you're talking about, lady. All right, going on
Dave.
to question number 2. Okay, you got a long drive. You got to drive from Chicago to Buffalo. You got to listen to 2 albums. Which album are you listening to? Mr. Yeezy? Chicago born? Yeah. All right. Kanye West. Oh man, look at that. Red hat and all. Kanye is he's lyrically amazing, but somebody that is absolutely one of the most iconic people in music industry that a lot of new people don't even know about. He created not only the samples that are taken from, but also the songs. Sam Cooke, another famous Chicagoan. All right, Sam Cooke was brilliant. Was shot to death at a very early age, so we never really saw his full potential. But I mean, for what he did in his young life, what are you taking? For me, it's a no-brainer. I love Yeezy, I love Kanye, but I'm going with Sam Cooke. I'm an oldies doo-wop dude. I love all that stuff. The guy's brilliant. He laid down the foundation for people like Kanye. Nate?
Yeah, so I mean, normally I would say Sam Cooke. I normally would because I appreciate exactly what he did at the time that he did it versus what's going on currently. But I actually think that there's something to be said about Kanye right now. He's bucking the trend. Whether you agree with him or not, you don't have to, and I don't care. And I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but he's going against the grain, right? And so I can appreciate that he's stepping outside of what his normal cylinder of influence would be, and he's sparking dialogue, and he's just like Malort. It's polarizing. We just drank an alcohol that's polarizing. Kanye West is polarizing. Give me Kanye.
Okay. Dave, what are you going with? Who as a guy from Chicago, you're riding to Buffalo. It's 11 hours. Who are you listening to?
You know what? You guys all cut out there, so I didn't hear anything what Nate said.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd have to go. I loved Kanye's first 2 records.
Oh, yeah. They're
Loved
great.
them. Loved them. I'm gonna have to go Sam Cooke. I'm probably the oldest guy in the room here, so
You were Danny.
I'm gonna have to go Sam Cooke.
I'm with you. And the fact that you call them records was
Yeah.
even better.
Dude,
Yeah, you call
records,
it
yeah,
records.
yeah,
That's
agreed.
it. No, my sister's here, so all right. So going on to number 3. Now let's now that we've broken down the curtain, we're gonna get to the real shit. The city of food. Chicago's well known for its food. And these 2 things, they don't play around. I don't care if you're in Zimbabwe or if you're in Peru. When you meet a Chicago person, they are adamant about these 2 things. And these 2 things, I mean, look, I just picked them because I read a lot about them. So maybe I'm wrong. So maybe there's a local spot, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about signature Chicago things. And so the first one is Lou Malonati's Pizza. Look at that thing. That is a Chicago deep dish. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that thing. Oh, that
You're
is
a
like
tourist. You're a tourist.
Oh, there
I
we
love
go.
it.
I like it. Dude,
I
he's
love it.
calling you
I
out.
love it. All right.
He's calling
So
you out.
to just hop onto that one, why don't we just continue being a tourist and let's go on over to Portillo's and have their Italian beef.
Where is it, dude?
Oh.
I'm struggling to find it.
Portillo's is good. I'm not going to bullshit you and say that Portillo's is bad, but Chicago has a million hot dog, Italian beef, pizza places that are local mom and pops that blow them all out of the water.
Yeah.
I could name you right now. Like, if you want to talk Chicago hot dogs, you got to go to the Wiener Circle. And if you're timid, they'll rip you a new asshole. They'll make you ashamed to have even been born. They will just insult you, your heritage, everything else, but it's the best.
Oh.
If you're in the suburbs, like, if you guys are traveling and you're close to O'Hare, there's a place called Gene and Jude's Hot Dogs that
Sounds like something I would like.
there's fries that are piled on the hot dog that are fried in this Bourbon County Stout motor oil. That the fry, it's in a brown paper bag. It just drips grease, but they're outstanding. And I would take that over any chain in the world.
Wow.
So yeah, you got to go to the Wiener Circle and be called a motherfucker, be called everything else because you took too long to order your food. When you guys are done, and everybody that's watching right now, go to YouTube and search for Conan O'Brien Wiener Circle. You will piss your pants. It was so flippin' funny.
It's similar to if you're in Philadelphia, right? So everybody thinks of Geno's and Pat's cheesesteaks. They're not the best cheesesteaks in Philadelphia.
Right.
Everybody that's from Philadelphia, they know that. They're like, all right, those are the tourist spots. And that's where all the traffic goes, so all the normal people don't have to deal with it, right? And then you get there's thousands of not thousands, hundreds of places that are better than Pat's and Geno's.
Yeah. All right. So same thing goes true for Buffalo. We have our Anchor Bar or Duff's, chicken wings. So based off the pictures, let's not go on the actual place. Which would you rather? Would you rather have a Chicago style pizza? Or would you rather have the Italian beef sandwich? That one is pretty tough because I like both, but I'm going with the Chicago style pizza because I love pizza.
Yeah, so it's
pizza.
I want to disagree with you, but it's hard because the Italian beef sandwich, I'm going to go with the deep dish pizza. I want to have the best one available. I want to try the best of that. Sandwiches, I think, are easier to recreate.
No. I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to throw a little wrinkle into the mix here.
Oh, what do you got? We
have in Chicago what's called the combo, where you have your Italian beef, and they put a big piece of Italian sausage right on top.
Oh, yes.
So you get like the best. So I'm going to go with the combo sandwich.
No, I have that.
There's a place, I haven't been there in years, so it might not even be there anymore. This place called the Plush Pup. They had the best combo that the bread was crispy. You had a nice crispy Italian roll, great Italian beef, great Italian grilled sausage on top. I'm going to go with the Italian combo.
Let's take a look at this picture. You can see the piece of sausage.
Oh,
in
yeah.
This picture. Look at this thing, dude.
I'm going to grab my bottle of Crestor right now for everybody that needs some cholesterol help.
Oh, man. I absolutely love it.
I mean, I want all of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to choose one. I want to eat as many deep dish pizzas as I can, and I want to have as many of those Italian sandwiches as I can. Those are phenomenal. So, but
It's
anyway,
really cool, man.
Danny, sorry.
Chicago people are really prideful, and they're really prideful of their food, and I love that. I love that they have their distinct flavors and their, Italian beef and different style pizza. So either one, you can't go wrong. So whatever you choose, it's fine. Now going on to the next one, let's talk some real shop sports. All right. If you could reincarnate, not reincarnate because they're both alive. If you could bring back one for the next 10 years, who would you bring? Would you bring Phil Jackson back? Okay. He's your coach for the next 10 years. All right. Was it him? Was it Michael? Was it Scotty? Who knows? We don't know.
Scotty.
Was it Bill Lambier?
Fuck Scotty.
Hold on a second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on. So you're a Chicago guy. The Bulls run from 90 through 98 or whatever it was without the, Michael Jordan leaving for a year to deal with his gambling father's death and all that. You don't like Scottie Pippen?
I love Scottie Pippen as a ball player.
He's a bit of a dick.
Everyone that's like tuned in here, you Google no tipping Pippen. Scottie Pippen.
Oh, I've heard about that actually.
No tipping Scottie Pippen.
He was notorious for being a dick, to wait staff and restaurants.
And I've heard from
area.
Friends of mine firsthand what a jagoff he was. Great ball player, and he's had some hard times in the last couple of years, lost a son. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, but fuck Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Hey, look, you don't take care of
I'll take Sammy Sosa back.
The next one wasn't Sammy Sosa. It was Phil Jackson or Ditka. Hey,
Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson.
What?
100 times out of 100.
Hold on a minute.
The Bears won 4 Super Bowls without Mike Ditka.
Wow.
Fair enough. Okay.
Wow.
All right, Danny, what's yours? Who you taking?
It's tough because the thing is the stigma of Ditka was really brought to life through pop culture and Saturday Night Live, and they really only had the one good season. I mean, they were coming up in
86,
but 85, 86 was
85. Sorry,
85. And the thing is that was a real breakthrough amongst media. Media realized we could take these people and we could have them doing dances like Jim McMahon and Walter Payton in the fridge and stuff like that. And so I think if you're not from Chicago, you didn't understand the whole coaching carousel and the whole stigma of the team. But then you look at Michael Jordan without Phil Jackson, dude, I don't know, man. I think what it was, I don't know if you could have had Tyronn Lue coaching Michael Jordan and then he'd be as good as he is. I don't know. This is a really tough one for me. But if I had to choose, I would pick Mike Ditka. I like Ditka and the Bears. I like him.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of that. Yeah, I completely agree. There's something about the Mike Ditka personality that I prefer to the Phil Jackson personality. Phil Jackson was the more prolific coach. There's no doubt about it.
Better coach.
Prolific coach. He also had the best player of all time on his team, so that helps.
Yeah.
But Mike Ditka, that personality, I miss that personality.
Yeah.
There was a Bobby Knight to him that I miss that. I miss guys I understand why certain people don't agree with it anymore. I disagree with those people. That doesn't mean they're wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right. But give me Mike Ditka.
We won't see coaches like that again.
Give me Mike Ditka all day long. I don't even fucking think about it. Dave, what do you got?
The Bears should have won. The Bears should have had 2 or 3 Super Bowls. And a lot of it was everybody, not just Ditka, but you had the Fridge and Jim McMahon and everyone else that I think there was a Super Bowl hangover that they didn't realize their potential, where Phil Jackson's Bulls did. They three-peated twice.
Twice, yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with just multiple championships over to Phil. Not that, I don't respect what Ditka did, but I think after like that first Super Bowl here, he just became a character of himself.
Yeah, I can see that.
But like, I'm a Chicago Grabowski guy, and I'll go with Phil, Phil was a self-centered prick himself, but he won multiple times.
Many times. And then he went to go to LA. Of course, he had the help of Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. In my opinion, Phil Jackson has had 3 of the best 5 players at the position ever. No, I would say that it was probably Kobe, Shaq, and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay. But Scottie Pippen's a top 50 player.
Top 50, but not top 5. I'm saying Shaq was the best center ever. Kobe was the best power forward, and Michael Jordan was the best
guard.
Guard. Yeah, guard. Sorry. Okay. So anyway, moving on. Question number 5. We're gonna get a little crazy with it. Which would you rather have? Super hairy, mossy teeth, like your teeth grow moss on them. No, like straight up, like shale rock, Allegheny, like you got green hair growing on your teeth. Or would you rather have hairy palms? Okay, like literally your palms are hairy. So every time you shake somebody's hand, they're going to get a piece of that. Every time you wave to somebody, they're going to see that. What would you rather? I don't know. That's a tough one. When you get into the mouth region, that's always gross, and you never know what kind of smell is going to come out of there. So I'm going to have to go with the hairy palms. So what? They know I like to whack it.
I don't know. Maybe that wasn't a precursor to having the hairy palms. You just threw that in there. I'm gonna have to do the palms as well. I just won't shake anybody's hand.
No, I'm doing teeth. No, I'm doing palms. No, I'm doing
palms. I just won't shake anybody. I'd rather have the ability to kiss
fist bump
the other gender. But I don't need to shake anybody's hand anymore. We've gone through 2 years of fist bumping. I think we can all agree we don't need to shake hands anymore. So for me, give me the hand one or the teeth one. No, the hand one.
Hairy palms.
I'd rather have the hairy palms because we're all wearing fucking masks, so nobody sees it. I got
nobody's making out in the street,
but I can still jerk off at home with a little extra shit there. So I'd rather have the hairy palms.
Yeah, you might enjoy the extra fur.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it, guys. Please let me know down in the comments after the show what would you rather be. Thank you so much for participating. It's time to go to the next one, and that is the old die. What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you listening to? So I'm going to roll this dice. Whatever it is, we're going to talk about a little bit of maybe a recommendation of what we're reading, what we're watching, or what we're listening to. Here we go. So it's a 3. So what are you listening to? What am I listening to?
That's easy.
That's easy. I'm listening to Beer in Front, man. It's one of my favorite podcasts all of a sudden. I that's what I'm listening to. I love Dave Z. I think he's great. I think his show is great. I think he provides a really good audience with a lot of value. And if you haven't, go down in the description below, click on the link, subscribe, start listening to Beer in Front. Don't be a jag off. I'll have to
send you guys a fucking check for this. Yeah.
Don't be a jag off.
Or some more Malort too. Yeah, one of the two.
Nate, what are you listening to?
I have it written down here as also Beer in Front. I've been listening to the podcast, and Dave, you do an exceptional job. Like Danny said before, you have a voice for podcasts. You do a great job. Every one of them is providing some educational aspect, a little bit of humor, and you do a great job. I absolutely love it. If you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you download it, become a subscriber, become a part of the community. He's now part of our community. Dave, you do a great job. Beer in Front is what I'm listening to right now.
Yeah,
thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Dave, what are you listening to?
I listen to a lot of indie podcasts now because that's like the community I'm in. And I hate to give you a list of people because you're always going to leave somebody out. And they're going to be like, what the fuck, you jagoff? You don't listen to me? But listen to your independent podcasters. We're all doing the same thing. We're trying to have a side hustle. We're trying to scratch our way into this world. There's a lot of great ones out there. So listen to your independent content makers, whether it's YouTube, podcasting, whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to find a lot of great shit out there. I would listen to your indie content producers.
Agreed.
Yeah, I love that you say that, Dave, because it really hits home with me, who's been doing this for a little bit. Nothing crazy like what you see YouTubers out there. But the thing is like you're right. Like listen to them, and the thing is they might not be the biggest, they might not be the baddest in the world perspective, but they resonate to you. You understand where they're coming from. These are people that you would hang out with. These are people that you would listen to if you were just here in regular life. And I think that's so critical because people are in search of like always what's hot and what's not. But oftentimes it has nothing to do with what other people think. It's what you are interested in. And I think that's an important thing about life. And I think that will make you generally happier if you start listening to people that you relate to.
Yeah, and like I have a list here of like 5 different like indie podcasters, but I know if I like read them off, there's going to be 5 others that I listen to that are going to like be upset. Find your independent content producers, whether it's YouTube, podcasting, whatever. Follow them. You're going to find something that fits your need and going to entertain you throughout the course of your day.
I love it. Love it. All right, guys. It's come to that unfortunate moment where we have to drink the last bit of our beer.
And I got to take a leak. Fuck.
Hey, we got to go. You want to pee?
We're good. We're good.
You good? All right.
No, go ahead.
All right, let's go.
I'm good. Let's go.
Give it a score, and I'm going to bring you the quote of the show. Here we go.
Dude, drinking this like this is not fun.
Look at residue.
Wow, man. I mean, it is hard to get that thing down. It is not. This is not an easy drinking beer, by the way, everybody. It is not.
No,
you need to
absolutely not.
But drinking it from cold to now, I appreciate the journey. It tastes. I love all aspects of it.
All right, let's look at taste. My perspective, my opinion, my score. I think that Nate hit the nail on the head when he said molasses. I feel like somebody just dumped a cup of brown sugar into a glass of hot water and mixed it up, and that's what I'm drinking. I don't taste any of the cola. I don't taste any of the bourbon, which typically I taste a lot of these bourbon-aged barrel beers to be quite boozy. I didn't feel like I tasted a lot with this one. I didn't really overall like this taste. I didn't think it would bring me back to it. I'm not disappointed because I wanted to try it, but overall, I'm not too impressed. I'm giving it a score of a 3.0.
Not impressed in a 3.0. Sounds pretty good for them. I'm gonna go 4.5. I actually really like this flavor.
Are you fucking high?
I get the cola. Like I'm picking that up. And I also really love stouts, and I love the bourbon aspect of it because it's not offensive, but it's super boozy, which is something I like. For me, they're actually doing what they said they're going to do, so 4.5.
I'm going to go 3.5, and like I said, I just had the original, so I didn't have what you guys had, but I'm going to give it a 3.5. So it was really good. Was it phenomenal? No, but would I drink this?
Yeah.
Yes. You guys talk for the next thing, and I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Please do. 3.0, right there.
3.5.
3.5. Okay. All right. The next one, I'm going to go to price. Look, $28 for a bottle of beer.
Wow.
Are you fucking stoned? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of anybody. I don't make a lot of money. I'm blue collar. I go to work every day. That one is not gonna do well. I like what they're doing, and I'll get to that in a minute later on down on the scoring sheet. But the price for me sucks. I'm gonna give it a 0.5.
Wow, a 0.5. That's probably the lowest score you've ever given in any category for any beer.
I've given 26C a 0 before.
Which one?
It's called 26C. It was before you were on the show. It was this beer that was promoted with salt lime and coriander after you ran a marathon.
Ugh. All right.
It was brutal, bro. It was worse than bad meatballs in a meatball bomber.
All right, so I'm going to go a 1.5 for the price. Not because it's not a good price. Okay, it's not. It's very expensive. For me, it wasn't $28. It was $26. But you got to remember what you're getting yourself into here. The people that are buying this are willing to pay the $26 because it's a very niche style offering from any brewer in the country. So people are willing to pay that because the process takes a lot longer. It's not just a matter of somebody taking a Bud Light and saying, here, I'm going to charge you $30 for it. There's more stuff going into it, so the price is higher. The exclusivity of it is higher. But for me, the price is still out of whack, right? Even for 14%. So I'm going to go a 1.5. I'm going to ding it, but I'm not going to go down to 0.5 because I think there's a place for it. And obviously, with the aftermarket that you're seeing in Chicago, people buy into it. But it's still $26, so 1.5.
Okay, Dave, what are you giving your score on the price of these beers?
The regular beer right now, which I'm having, which is just the regular Bourbon County brand stout, you could see from $14 to $10 for a bottle. $10 a bottle, I'd give it a 4.5. 14 and higher, I'm going to go a little bit lower. There's other great Chicago Bourbon County or bourbon barrel aged beers that might have topped them. So I'm going to give this a 3. It's like kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good score.
Yeah.
Not
I love your score.
super expensive. It's not super cheap. It's, kind of right in the middle where I think if you found this at like your grocery store at $10, it's a good beer. You have a good day at work. You have a good week at work. The Bulls won a good basketball game. The Hawks, the Bears suck. I mean, you guys are sitting pretty with the Super Bowl and the Pro Bowl and everything else. We're just freezing our balls off here. It's a good, celebratory beer. When the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup, I had this beer with a cigar sitting outside, and I was good to go.
Please. You don't know how much that hurts because you know whatchamacallit's from Buffalo, right?
Yeah. You got robbed. Robbed.
He's a true-born Buffalo kid growing up. But let's go into the design. I like what they do in the design. I like that they put it in a bigger bottle. I like that they have this classic look to it, almost like Tommy Hilfiger clothes. And I like how they leave this little wing. I think that adds to it. It adds to a bottle of beer that kind of makes it branded like, hey, look, this is a little more expensive. They have the imprints. If you can see, Goose Island is imprinted in the bottle, which is always bitching. I like the design. I'm giving it a score of a 4.0. Dave, it looks like Nate's down a pisser. You're up for design.
The design of the bottle, I'm giving a 5. I think it's a great, great bottle. I love they spent the extra money, on the branded bottle.
Yeah.
You could make a vase out of this, candle out of this. It's a great bottle. Like when you grab this, you're having something special. This isn't a can of beer, and everything we drink is out of a can.
Yep.
But this is something special.
Yeah. So Danny, is it my turn?
Yeah, you're up, Nate.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I like that they put the emphasis on the actual bottling of the beer. So the reason why a lot of these craft beers will use a can is because you're not going to get that issue of light, right? So you're going to be able to keep that beer on the shelf for a much longer time than you would if there was a bottle. But they figured this thing out. They're using a dark bottle. It's embossed on here, which I really like. It feels nice. They're putting extra money into the bottling, the packaging. So I might not agree with the style, but they're taking the extra effort and showing you that they're willing to invest on the bottling side. So for me, I'll go 3.0 on the style.
It's a special product. They make a special bottle. Simply said. Going to accessibility. Look, I don't know how much accessible this is going to be worldwide. You're probably going to be non-existent amongst the United States, unless I think if you're in the beer culture, you're not even going to know about this beer because most people walk into their supermarket, even their beer store in their city in the United States. They're not going to have any idea this thing even exists. I think it sits on the shelf in the back for those specific people that watch shows like this or know about beer. I think the accessibility, unfortunately, is pretty low, but I like it. I like what they do. I like how they brand it as being exclusive. I'm going to give them right down the middle, 2.5.
I'm going to go 2.0 because internationally you're going to get dinged, but it's shown by Danny seeing it in LA, me seeing it in Las Vegas, Dave struggling a little bit and finding a very particular version of this beer. I don't think is really conclusive on what we're seeing nationwide. I have a feeling that it's all over the place. So for me, the accessibility will be a 2.0. It's not a great score, but it's available for a lot of us in the major metropolises. What about you, Dave?
You know, it's hard because like there's stories in Chicago where AB is kind of putting a squeeze on your local places. Like if they don't order X amount of Goose Island throughout the year, they're not going to get this. So like your grocery stores, you can get this.
Yeah.
You could get the regular Goose Island. You could get some of the variants. Some of your specialty bottle shops, you're not going to. So I'm going to have to give it a 2.
Yeah, that's
if you want to find it, I could go to my local grocery store and pick up the regular bottle of it. Of the variants, it might be harder to find. So I'd give it a 2.
Okay.
Fair score.
Fair enough. Okay. Let's go
X
to the TMD X Factor. That's what I call it. You call it whatever you want. Look, the one thing that is I like about this beer is that it's expensive. And what I mean by that is I'm not a really bougie person. I'm in Hollywood.
You're a bougie fuck. I can tell.
Wait till you meet me.
That's going to be your new t-shirt right there. Bougie fuck.
Bougie fuck. No, yeah. It's just one of those things where, you know what, to be honest, if I had great success in acting and a hit thing, I would buy expensive things. You know, I would buy chains and I would buy nice cars, and I probably have a better house than what I'm living in now. But if I don't have that, that's okay with me. I'm completely okay. I live most of my life this way, all my life like this. But the fact that I'm able to get this bougie beer, the more expensive beer, from something that I really like, that means a lot to me. Something I like, which is beer. Something I do, which is the beer show. And something that I'm able to purchase that most people don't. Is this $28 beer? I think that's awesome. I love that. 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.0. The fact that we're trying something, in my opinion, like you just said, is exclusive. The fact that we have beer in front here to share this experience, and we get to talk to somebody who's from Chicago.
Yeah,
that's really where the score comes from. Goose Island is not it. It's really has to do with Dave being here. So thank you, Dave. For me, it's a 4.0.
Yeah, that's really. I should probably mention that it's about Dave being here.
No, it's all about you guys, man. Like I said, it's your house, man. I'll do whatever you want me to do. You want me to take my shoes off? You want me to take
Please don't,
off?
Dave.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, you don't want me to do that. But no, like this beer is the OG. It's a classic for a reason. It's been around longer than anyone else. It's probably still the most popular of all the barrel-aged beers that are out there nationwide. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. I still think when you say, you don't even have to say the name. You could just say BCBS.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right
for
about
Bourbon County brand stout. People know what you're talking about. So
really,
there's still a demand for this, even though in every major beer city they might have caught up to them or might have surpassed them. It's still a good beer. Like, I'm going to drink this and I'm not going to like dump it when I'm done talking to you guys. It's a good beer. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say it's like a 3.5. It's
Nice.
still an awesome, solid beer. Are there better beers? Yes. Are there worse beers? Hell yes. But this is still a great beer.
Nice. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we're coming to the point where we reveal our scores, and I've never come to this low, and it has something to do with the price. And I'm sorry. I think it's a good beer. Would I drink it again? I don't know. It's okay. I would try it yearly. Maybe we'll bring it back next year. I give it a score of a 14.5 for the cola.
We're pretty close. I got a 15.0.
No? Okay, 15.0.
And the big ding is the price and the accessibility.
Yeah.
If we're just talking the beer, would I drink it again? If I was sitting around a table with the two of you, I would say, why don't you guys go pull 3 of those colas out of the fridge?
Yeah.
And Dave's score was a total of. Nate, talk a little so I can.
Dave, your score sounds like it was dog shit. So
Yeah, it was like right in the middle. You know,
Dave's score was actually pretty good. He gave it a score of a 17.
Oh, there we go.
So pretty good. Chicago native. You got to support the Goose Island. This is what we did today. We did the Bourbon County and we did the Neon Beer Hug. Delicious beers. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with the quote, and then I'm going to have Dave take us out of the show. So the quote comes from a famous guy from Illinois. He ran for president. He won. It was a long time ago, but he said this. I'm a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended on to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them real facts, no fake news. That's a thing, I guess. And beer. All right. And beer. And that was
I'm going to give you a great Chicago quote from somebody that you both like, from Mike Ditka.
Whoa.
The past is for cowards and for losers. Always look forward.
Love it.
You know,
look
at what's in front of you. Look at what's ahead.
Beer in front.
Yes.
I love. First of all, I love both these quotes. Abraham Lincoln knew what was up. You know, yeah. He's just playing the part. Let's get cocked and let's have a good time. Yeah. But I love that Ditka said this because he's. I don't want to say basic. He's probably very complex, but he understands that, you know, looking back is a regression. Looking forward is progression.
Some people,
and I think that's great, and that's where we're all headed, man. Dave, I can't say thank you so much for being on this show more. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Great show.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. Nate, thank you for introducing us to Dave. You were the one that found Dave, and that's how this thing works on the internet or whatever you want to call it. It's just really cool that we got a chance to meet. So thank you so much for being part of the show. We're going to continue being friends. We're going to continue collaborating, hopefully one day.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to have you guys on my show.
That'd be great.
We'll talk about LA beers, Vegas beers. Yep. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of both. I have friends of mine that have sent me stuff from both regions that I love. Like Abel Baker.
Abel Baker.
Abel Baker.
Like I said, I have my Beer Zombie shirt on right now. LA beers. I've had a lot of good beers from El Segundo. What's the one I love? The Five Finger Death Punch beer. I
know you're talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah. We did that too. That's from Chico.
Yeah. So we'll definitely have to get together and hook up and do another collaboration around the.
Love to.
You know. Yeah.
We're always doing callbacks. Guys, if you haven't already, please tune in to Beer in Front. The link is down in the description below. Dave Z is the co-creator. He is the creator. He is the owner of it. Check it out. His podcast is great. Please support him. We're going to bring it back, Dave. We're going to send you a swag bag. We're getting shit ready. New T-shirts. Matter of fact, when we were doing the show,
the handsome devil guy.
Yeah,
that was before COVID when I was fucking skinny.
Don't worry about it.
We all were, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, how about we do this? In celebration of today's show, let's bring it down with one more Malort. Fuck it. All right.
It's finally after fucking 12 o'clock your time.
I think this might have broke the record, but that's okay. We don't care.
No, let's. Well, I mean, my family cares. They want to kill me. Other than that, you're good.
Yeah. My
The
dog's
family
pissed at me, but it's okay.
They'll understand, and 10 years from now,
They'll be
back
fine.
and listen,
They'll
I'm
be
glad
fine.
you did it. Guys, one more shot of Malort here with Beer in Front podcaster Dave how do you say it? Zalatoris?
Zalatoris, yeah, just like the golfer.
Zalatoris.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenal name, by the way, Zalatoris.
Nice Lithuanian name, yes.
Yeah,
I like
is
that.
it really?
Yeah.
I've been to Lithuania. It's one of my favorite countries.
Really?
I did a lot of videos on it. Villainous is awesome.
I want to go there for the bacon biscuits.
Oh, they have bacon biscuits?
Yes, they do. And they have Zeppelinis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to talk more, Dave.
All right, cheers,
guys.
fellas.
Look at the Malort face before it even goes down.
Yeah.
Word.
Dude, man, I'm not joking. I love that's the flavor I want from alcohol. I want to taste it. Like when you get to the vodka, it's designed for you not to taste it, right? Like this is telling you, hey, by the way, there's something going down your system that's gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, like that whole thing was.
I love that. That
Yeah,
tastes so good. It is the best thing I drank today.
Well, I'm not going to agree with you. I just want to say thanks to people around the world, whether you're calling in or watching from Denmark, from India, from Norway, from Peru, from Los Angeles, Vegas, or Chicago. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the love. Big shouts out to Beer in Front and Dave Zalatoris. Thank you, Dave.
Wait, before we sign off, are you getting the tattoo? Did you get enough for the tattoo?
We did not get there. I'm sorry, Dave. Your fans did not get us there. I'm going to blame you, and I'm going to blame Danny.
Oh, my fucking... You guys are a bunch of jagoffs.
Jagoffs.
All of my friends are a bunch of jagoffs for not tuning in.
Hey, by the way, so we did get up to 18. So we were close.
All right.
I was watching the whole time. We got up to 18. We're going to do it again. We'll see if we can get to 30. I want the tattoo.
Hey, to be fair,
I'm good for a few more, so I'm in.
To be fair, we had 61 viewers, but
All right.
they weren't at the same time. So I can see those analytics. Guys, thank you so much, Nate. As always, you were awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. Don't be a jagoff. As Dave would say, are you going to show up and jag off Beer in Front, you son of a bitch? Hell yeah. Thank you so much. I'm Travel Man Dan. And remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it. Yeah, drink it up.
There we go. Dave's got it. He's got it.
All right.